Hey guys. One criticism I hear regarding the A-League quite frequently, all over social medias, etc., is the lack of marketing compared to the AFL and NRL. Now, in like Australia, the most common ways of you hearing about the AFL and NRL and any football code, sporting code, it's pretty much through either your newspaper, your radio, or your morning or evening news. So you have the 3-hour news in the morning before you go to work. That's what the highlights, and your news when you come home from work, which is a good hour. So that's pretty much your main exposures. And even like through social media, those social media articles come through journalists who write for the newspapers or through the radio, etc. So they're like the main ways you hear about your sports code. But they are free, all right? Sports codes don't pay for that coverage. Those guys are doing it off their own back. They're covering certain leagues, right? So what I decided to do is look to see how much coverage, pretty much free marketing coverage, the A-League got in the middle of its season, so the 27th of Jan to 3rd of February, and compared it to what the AFL and the NRL got at the same period. And keep in mind, both those leagues were still more than a month away from the season starting. So we're comparing mid A-League season to more than like the pre-season of AFL and NRL to see who gets covered more by pretty much the free media. All right, so here's the first one. The first one we're going to look at is newspaper coverage. So the newspapers I looked at were the Advertiser, the Age, Sydney Morning Herald, the Courier Mail, the West Australia, and the Herald Sun. I've doubled up in some states, but I average out the word count to make it, fair, right? Anyway, looking at that table, look at that graph, you can see, depending on what state you live in, what paper you read, etc., it's nearly 9 times more likely to read about the AFL and NRL than the A-League. Again, this is a good month before those seasons start. What's even more egregious is a lack of back page coverage. So if you look at this figure, the AFL and NRL completely trounced the A-League regarding back page exposure. Now, there was a couple of A-League back pages, but they're like the size, those little small squares in the top corner saying turn to page 10 of the sports section to talk more about the A-League. They don't really scream attention, right? Now, AFL and NRL, again, more than a month after the season started, they were getting half page, full page, back pages, spreads of their season. You open up the next page to the second, the third, the fourth page, all articles dedicated to NRL and AFL. Come on, guys, this is you're still a month away. You can give more room to the A-League. And even the front cover, there will also be some front cover snippets of we talk about blah blah AFL, blah blah NRL. Turn to this section, the sports section, a page of the sports section. Come on, don't just help out the A-League a bit, guys. So again, the newspapers middle of the A-League season do not help the A-League, right? It's very, very unfair. Let's say very unfair. So what I did is I also looked at the 6 o'clock nightly news. Again, compared the A-League coverage to the NRL and AFL coverage. As you can see from this graph figure, however you want to describe it, depending on what state or what channel you watch, you could be exposed to the NFL and AFL 3.5 times more than the A-League. Again, Channel 10, that ratio is closer. Channel 10 shows the A-League. Fair enough, you expect that. But even so, the other states, this is again a month out from the season starting, and you're giving that much exposure and cover to the NRL and AFL. Now, to give credit, this cost the AFL and NRL marketing team $0 to promote their league a good month before the season starts. That is amazing, right? So there you go. Good work, those guys, getting blood out of a stone. Well, that's not all they get, Daniel. Johnny, is that you? Right you are, Daniel. The AFL and NRL also get the monopoly of football coverage in their respective state for the entire year. Now, well, congratulations, I guess. Does the A-League get anything, Johnny? Oh, I've just been handed this envelope. See what it says. Dear A-League, you win a systematic undermining of your league based on the narrative we impose on you when and how we see fit. Sincerely, the media. P.S. Ha 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 ha. Johnny, could you just cover the league more? Johnny? Johnny? There you have it.